Good morning, Melanie. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for getting up so early to talk about this.
You're welcome. Thanks for talking to me.
My pleasure. Are you kidding? I'm such a big fan of yours. First off, before we
Oh.
start, you just came off the Comic-Con experience. How was that?
It actually, I was very nervous going into it. I thought it was going to be crazy, and it was really lovely. It was quite
Oh, good.
relaxing. Yeah. And I was with Bill and Jane and Sissy, who are three of my favorite people of all time. And we just had a
Uh-huh.
really lovely, fun time. It was great.
Oh, good. Good to hear, because it can be a scary thing, but I'm glad to hear that it went well for you. So that's good. You've now been inaugurated, so you're good, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations on this series. I'm so looking forward to. I've had a chance to see a couple of episodes, but I'm so intrigued. And I wanted to know first off, how big a Stephen King fan are you, or were you before you even got this?
I was a very big Stephen King fan. I used to go away for summer vacations to this house that my grandparents had, and my uncle would stay there at times, and he had every Stephen King book. So from before I should have been reading Stephen King, probably from the age of like 9, I was reading
Yeah,
Stephen King books and getting very, very scared and then trying to sleep. Um,
right.
yeah, so I was a huge fan of Stephen King's, and this I thought was a really interesting take on his world.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the series because it's not really an adaptation. It's inspired by King's work. So just give us a little synopsis of what you can tell us about Castle Rock.
Yeah, the writers Sam and Dusty had this idea at a certain point. They realized Stephen King had set a lot of his stories in this town called Castle Rock, and their idea was
Hmm.
basically who would stay there. All these terrible
Right.
things have happened. It's a terrifying place. There are just murders and all kinds of awful things. And so the story they wanted to tell was about the people who chose to stay in this town, who had been in this town when all this stuff was going on, and what their lives were like and who they were. So that's what the series is about.
Right. And you play your character, her name is Molly Strand, and she's a real estate agent. Now,
Yeah,
Melanie, not a great place to be a real estate agent, I guess, if nobody really wants to live there.
exactly. Exactly. That was one of the things that really drew me to the character because I just was like, oh, sweetheart, that's why. What a strange job to choose. I really kind of felt for her, and the more you get into the series, the more it kind of makes sense. She feels this strange responsibility to make the town a better place, and she feels like she can really revitalize it, and she's really doing her best to sell people houses, but no, nobody wants to buy houses there.
Exactly. Was it a challenging role for you or something very different for you, I think?
Yeah, it was kind of challenging. She has a sort of psychic affliction. She has a condition that she's trying to deal with, and one of the ways that
Hmm.
she manages it is to sort of block out the world, and so she wears sunglasses a lot of the time. And acting wise, that was a little challenging because I'm so used to using my eyes.
Yeah.
And so it was a bit hard, but it also helped me to genuinely feel sort of shut off and removed from people. But yeah, she's very complicated. It was a great challenge. It was a lot of fun.
Good stuff. Let's just talk very quickly about this cast. My
I
goodness,
know.
Andre Holland, Bill Skarsgard. I mean, just goes on and on. And Sissy
I
Spacek.
know.
Holy mackerel, the queen of Stephen King.
The queen of the world, I think, is how I kind of feel. She's just the sweetest woman. I mean, you're so starstruck when you meet her. There are so many of her performances, Coal Miner's Daughter, and obviously Carrie, and uh,
Yeah,
in the bedroom from like she's just Bloodline recently. I'm not going to just list
right.
all her credits, but she's just been non-stop amazing for so long, and she just disarms you instantly with how genuine and warm she is. But yeah, what a cast! Just no matter who I was doing a scene with, I knew I was going to have the greatest time because they were all so
Yeah.
brilliant.
Good for you. How amazing.
Yeah,
And what is it about Stephen King's writing, do you think, that attracts us all? Like that he's got so many fans for so many years and he just keeps pumping it out.
I think. I mean, the storytelling is so brilliant, the concepts are so great, but the main thing that has always attracted me, I think, is the characters. He creates these characters who are just unforgettable, and especially his female characters. He's written so many great parts for, when they're adapted for the screen that, female actors can play and just really run with. He's just amazing at creating characters.
Yeah, his female characters are so good. You're going to be up there. Molly Strand's going to be up there with the
We'll see.
iconic ones. I can tell you that right
We'll
now for
see.
sure.
Thank you.
I have to listen. I've been following your career ever since I first saw you. Oh my God, a few years back in Beautiful Creatures, we first got to know you, and then just saw you in the series Togetherness, which I so loved. You
Aw,
were so good in that.
thank you.
Um, Oh, you're welcome. But I have to make mention of Two and a Half Men because the first time I ever saw you as Rose, honestly, she was one of the main reasons I watched that show
Oh,
because you cracked me up so much. How did a show like that change your life, Melanie?
it was a funny one. I really just kind of did it on a lark. I got an audition for a multi-camera sitcom with Charlie Sheen, and I just was kind of like, let's see if I can do this. It was supposed to just be in the pilot, just like a guest star doing one episode. So I had just gotten my green card and I could work in America. So I
Yeah.
was like, let's see, let's give it a try. And then they asked me to join as a recurring character for the what ended up being the rest of the series. And it was
Yeah.
really, I mean, 13 years of my life and just friendships that I really treasure, and also just that was a really fun character to just go in and play every so often, especially when I was doing something really difficult and some emotional indie movie, and just knowing I could go in and just be crazy Rose for a week was always like a fun thing to think about.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was fun watching you do her. Well, it's going to be fun to see where Molly Strand goes in this creepy
Yeah.
series. It's so exciting on Hulu. And best of luck to you,
Thank
Melanie,
you.
and just a pleasure to talk to you this
Thank you
morning.
to you
Thank
too.
you.
Bye.